Good morning and good afternoon to everyone who's watching and tuning in for the February Bytesize. I am joined today by Marisa, who's going to be our Chief Product Officer, talking about all things with our latest product update. So Bango have launched yesterday. If you saw, a lot of action on the PR channels and on the social media, that we've launched the world's first all-in-one super bundling technology. We are super excited about this. It's a whole raft of brand new features, which we're going to talk about in a bit more detail. So I'll bring in our special guest, Marisa. Hello and welcome to your first bite-sized session. How are you doing today?
Hey Ben, how's it going? It's been great. I can't believe I'm 6 months into Bango. Strategies in motion tick. We launched this week with 8 exciting new features. I can't wait to show you the lineup. There's never been a more exciting time to be part of Bango.
Absolutely. So yes, 6 months. I can't believe it's been 6 months you've been in there in Bango. It's crazy. So very busy 6 months for you. What have you observed then at your time at Bango?
Well, the first few weeks settling into a new work home is really focused, first of all, on getting a grip onto the new Rolodex of acronyms, right? And then the landscape you'll be operating in. The more I learned, the more excited I got about the future that we're painting. The subscription economy is growing to $1 trillion by 2028, which means a huge headroom for growth. What's not to like about that? And then with the explosion of choice, consumers are just craving more simplicity and control. They want a single platform to find diverse content and to manage all their subscriptions in one place. Naturally, they also want better deals when they take on many subscriptions. As a pure play solution, this is where our strength and our focus lies. And then lastly, as leading brands are already doing this, think Verizon's Plus Play or Optus SubHub, they're reporting 60-70% reduction in terms of churn and 70% increase in terms of revenue. More and more business leaders are taking notice of this and also want piece of that action. They too want to transform how they're interacting with their consumers. And you can start to see an arms race in play with those who leaders of the pack wanting to maintain that competitive advantage and those who are new wanting to ease in and get to market as quickly as possible. Amidst all this, Bango sits in the middle of this multi-party relationship empowering the Office flywheel.
Yeah, very interesting stuff. Great introduction. And yeah, I mean, thinking about all the different businesses then, all different kind of telcos or any kind of reseller, right? They're all in different stages of their journey, right? So should we talk a little bit more about how, someone who's more in their infancy and someone who's more mature, should we talk about a little bit about how that kind of works?
Sure. So we're seeing a clear evolution in how businesses are approaching subscription bundling broadly across three stages. With the early stage customers often more cost conscious, they're less confident in terms of multi-party bundling. They lean towards more basic bundles like combining a streaming service with their mobile plan if they're a telco. And what they want to offer is convenience to their consumers without overwhelming choices. In the mid stage, customers here, they're more familiar with subscriptions. They become a little bit more adventurous and they demand flexibility to enable multi-party bundles. What they want to do is to have more tailor-made bundles to mix essential services with additional services like combining internet with premium content, as an example. And then finally, for those in that power user stage, as we call it, these customers expect more comprehensive solutions, multiple party integration, agility to go to market with just-in-time offers and flexible pricing plans. You can imagine that these types of customers, they want to differentiate. They want to use multi-party offers not only to mitigate subscription fatigue, but also to differentiate in the market with more personalization, right? So if they're seeing that there's a consumer segment that might be churning soon, they want to introduce and go to market as quickly as possible with something appealing to retain those consumers. These sort of customers' needs are quite deep, scalable, and complex. And with that, we need to build the key building blocks to support customers across different maturity stages to do subscription bundling.
Awesome, yeah. So I think we released a video yesterday that kind of summarizes the digital vending machine in a little bit more detail, kind of the different the different capabilities that are built in there. You talk about these building blocks. So I think this is a great moment now to share this video with the people watching, tuning in. What do you think, Marissa?
Yeah, let's dive in. Let's dive in and unpack.
Let's go for it. Pretty awesome music, right, Marissa?
It is. I love the tempo. I think I have my matching leather jacket to that as well.
So yeah, we're talking around, you talked about the maturity curve. It obviously gets a lot more complicated, more complex as people want to take on more of these features, right? So let's talk a little bit more about that for you.
Sure. So you saw in the video the key building blocks that are needed to do subscription bundling. We have something for everyone across different stages of the maturity curve. For those who are new, day one, they want to accelerate time to market and time to value as quickly as possible. And for those who are more mid-flight and maturing, they want to have more control. They want to have more flexibility. And broadly, that's where we're focusing those 8 launches that I'll be talking you through in a bit. There are these 2 camps that we're servicing through the new launches. So with the first one, you can see up on the screen, these are targeted to help customers who are new to the ecosystem, or they have existing new routes that they want to bring in onto Bango ecosystem as quickly as possible. So what we want to do here, first of all, with the dedicated sandbox is having an environment and access to full production API so that customers can test, validate integrations. We have a plump set of use cases for customers to get confidence at any stage of the sales cycle before going live. Dan Hill had already talked about this in the last Bytesize, so I won't go into more detail. Instead, I'll spend a little bit more time on the partner discovery and the migration engine, if you will. So with the migration engine, these are targeted at customers who are already doing subscription bundling, but perhaps with a different provider, and they want to migrate over to Bango as quickly as possible. As you can imagine, it's expensive to straddle 2 different systems, so we want to help them get on board as quickly as possible. What is great about this migration engine is that it comes with inbuilt intelligence and automation to make sure that there's data integrity checks being done along the way. And if there's any failures, we also have automatic reruns to ensure until the transfer is completed. It works great for large volumes, and customers can continue to create new entitlements. So basically running BAU in spite of this huge migration that's going on. And lastly, for the partner discovery, this is one of the most requested asks from partners in the space to help them facilitate partnerships, right? If only I could get a penny for every time someone asked to help connect partners together. With the partner discovery, you can self-serve access a list of pre-stock commercially available content providers there. You can sort by region, you can sort by category, and in doing so, after you have selected on the content provider of choice, you can also see their product catalogs and their term rates. What we want to do here is really to make it really accessible for partners to scout new go-to-market partners. And you can imagine by making it easier for partners to learn about who else is out there and their contents, it will drive for more collaboration within the ecosystem.
Really cool features, and it's great to kind of see the full journey and the features being mapped to that journey. It really can help because we want to be the kind of guiding hand for our partners to really get up and running with their subscription bundling business or enhance their existing subscription bundling business. So let's talk a little bit more into the kind of creation of offers. So I think we've got a video here that we're going to walk through, just to go in a little bit more detail of how the creations are done. So you can see with the digital vending machine here, we've got a whole array of different content from across SVOD, music, lifestyle, health and fitness, education, and all those offers that are matching with those. So that could be anywhere from a free month, it could be a year plan, it could be
3 for 2, buy one get one free. Exactly.
There's a lot of different offers really there.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, it's a complex bit of kit to work with, isn't it? So offer management. Do you want to talk a little bit about that for us, Marisa?
Sure. Just before I get into that, maybe I can explain for our audience a little bit what an offer is so that we're all on the same page. So an offer is constructed of a combination of content providers. You can see in this example where you're frozen, the customer has selected 3 different content providers that they want to construct the offer to be made out of. You can see Netflix, you can see Amazon Prime and Disney there. The office is also detailing what sort of price the consumer would be paying for how long and at what tier. So are they going to be coming in with ads, with free? Is it with premium tier? And then what happens after that free or trial phase moving onwards? Right. So you can see at this stage, by introducing multi-party content providers, what the customer is trying to do is to create more stickiness by offering more value to our customers, but to their consumers, so that they don't have to go to different avenues and subscribe and manage all the different subscriptions in one place. They can do it via the channel of choice. However, to make this happen, it's highly complicated. Not only does it involve integrating the CRMs, the subscription and billing and engines across those content providers that have been selected up there, but also ensuring seamless billing and entitlement management as well. It creates this high barrier. And for that reason, many customers forego doing such complicated bundles, even though it helps drives average revenue per user. It also helps reduce churn, as we cited before. It just creates such a high barrier. And what Bango wants to do is just to break down those barriers, make it super easy. In fact, with offer management, time for offer creation to deployment has been reduced from days to just minutes. We're seeing some customers take up to even 50 working days just to create multi-party, what they call just-in-time offers.
Right? So is that the key benefit then for resellers? Is it speed?
Absolutely. And also with more flexibility and control at a consumer level, not just whether a consumer is entitled to a subscription or not. Bango is taking away a lot of the complexities that our partners are facing to create such dynamic bundling options to drive ARPU here. We have a lot of pre-built logic to handle both happy as well as unhappy path, which means partners can do less.
Awesome. Should we move on to plan lifecycle?
Absolutely.
So tell us a little bit more around plan lifecycle, Marisa, and kind of how it's unique to the digital vending machine.
Sure. So you can see there that the customer has now selected the 3 content providers of choice and what is that plan that they want to go into configuring. right? So you can see here that basically there are a couple of things that takes place. So plan lifecycle automates and manages seamless activation, renewal, retention of the plan, handling charging and notification as and when plan phases changes. So you can see here that the customer is starting with a 7-day free trial, and then after that followed by full price on a monthly basis. Now, there's a lot of intelligence that goes behind the scenes to automate all that so that there's no manual intervention. First of all, is making sure that it's activated, making sure that the plan lifecycle takes place as it's been configured to be free and not charging anything for the first 7 days, notifying different parties, so in this case, both the channel or the resellers as well as the content providers, when consumers have transitioned off that 7-day free period onto a full payment period as well. And then all the underlying charging and billing that goes underneath the scenes to make sure that operations are running efficiently.
Yeah, it just seems complicated when you start getting 2, 3, 4 different content providers all in that same bundle. I can imagine it gets quite a complex beast.
Exactly. And if you want to try different types of business models, you want to try out different types of pricing plans to experiment in the market, it also gets even more complicated. But by making this fully configurable, customers don't have to be burdened by the complexities. We can take care of everything that happens behind the scenes for them.
Awesome. And then, so if we think about the kind of from a subscriber point of view now, so obviously everything we've kind of shown so far has been the back end kind of setup between the reseller and the content provider. How does a subscriber interact and take up this offer?
So once the customer has configured everything and they hit on that red go live button, the offer then gets deployed into a subscription hub. They have a choice of whether it is their own subscription hub or Bango's DVM CX. And DVM CX predominantly it's a white label configurable subscription hub, which a consumer can interact with and manage all their subscriptions as well as search for new contents in one place.
So we just saw then on the example here, the lady clicking on Disney Plus. Talk me through what actually happens when someone's taking up that offer.
Yeah, so then that basically just shows a flip in the scene going from behind the scenes in the DVM to creating and deploying that offer and then surfacing that offer into the consumer's world, right? So the consumer is going into the subscription hub on the screen on the left-hand side. She's interacting with that. She's chosen the content that she wants to take up. And as she clicks on that button in one hit, basically there's orchestration that's taking place behind the scenes to ensure that the consumer is been assigned to that offer. It's checking whether that consumer is eligible for that offer, and then creating all these entitlements and billing so that all these manual work behind the scenes does not need to take place at the customer side. It can just be done in mere seconds.
Awesome. So that's yeah, that's the benefit, right? Of the DVM, it all kind of like one click, all happens behind the scenes. Incredible stuff.
Yeah, that's the plan, to insert more automation and more intelligence in the way so that customers can do less.
Absolutely. I want to touch a little bit more on the CX because I know this is something that is a major part of the update, right? This kind of customer facing interaction piece, because a lot of the work that we've done previously has been very much back end working with the resellers and content providers. So talk us through a little bit more on this particular screen. This is showing a kind of customer journey flow, isn't it?
Yeah, so let me just give you a bit of the lay of the land in terms of why we built this DVM CX. So building a digital subscription hub from scratch is very complex. It's highly resource intensive. It's not just getting up to the point of launch, but also the ongoing commitment and project manage to maintain, to ensure competitiveness, and also to engage their customers. The DVM CX is a point that allows the customers to interact with the consumers in the way that their brand stands for. And this is what we want to do by offering a solution that is configurable and white label so that a customer can come in, they can accelerate their journey into the market as quickly as possible using pre-built journeys. As you can see on the screen, they don't have to script up how a consumer would be discovering new content or going through and what happens behind the scenes and responding to a consumer when they have selected a new offer or going through purchase and managing subscriptions. All that is taken care of by Bango. It's all they have to do is just configure the white label subscription hub that they have purchased and brand it and roll it out. And in doing that, we have seen that we're able to shave out about 18 months by using DVM's CX to go to market.
Wow, that's a big amount of saving on time and effort and cost as well, right? Because obviously building one of these apps, yourself, the dev work that's needed, it's a particularly heavy lift.
It is a heavy lift, and what is great is that you can count on our years of experience having worked with brand leaders in subscription bundling and understanding the journey that consumers want to follow, as well as what are the most use cases that a customer needs to make this happen. We have sort of codified that into the DVM CX so that you don't have to do that.
Absolutely. And I just want to do a quick call out that, we're going to have a live Q&A session just at the tail end of this live stream. So if you've got any questions, please add them into the chat, and I'm sure we'll address them towards the tail end of the session. Now, one of the features that I'm really excited about is the smart top-ups. And now what that is exactly is, when we're thinking about subscription bundling, it's primarily done in post-paid markets. Just because of the way the billing is set up, it aligns very closely with monthly billing cycles of content providers. However, in prepaid market, which is 61% globally is prepaid market, so there's a huge untapped market here for subscription bundling. It's quite complex, right? Because of the stacking that's involved, the actual top up, like the integration of a top up and subscriptions is quite a messy business, right? We've come up with a solution for it, haven't we, Marisa? So let's talk about smart top ups.
We have. Do you want to flip over to the next slide? So you can see there, hopefully it helps simplify with some visuals. Picture speaks 1,000 words in terms of how much we have simplified it. Traditionally, solutions are post-pay because, as you can imagine, accessing digital media is quite lengthy. It consumes a lot of telco credits. And if you were to use prepaid that doesn't support multiple top-ups, you are going to have interrupted access. That means that a consumer would have to stop watching what they were watching, go off screen to then top up their credits, and then go back and continue watching what they were doing. As you can imagine, that hampers that consumer's experience, both with the telco, but also with the digital experience that they were wanting to enjoy. We want to take that away by supporting what we call multiple top-ups. So a consumer can go in, you can see on that image there, they can select how many different types of top-ups do they want to schedule on a recurring basis. So in this image, the consumer has selected that they want to top up €5 immediately once they have completed using their credits. And then if that's also finished, to then charge another €20 to make sure that they can continue enjoying the digital subscriptions that they were going into. What is great about this new capability is that it opens up telcos and treasury wallets in the fintech world to handling multiple top-ups. And in doing so, differentiating against those that traditionally just support post-pay through post-pay. Resellers and content providers no longer need to go in and ensure that entitlement updates are happening behind the scenes. They don't need to make sure that billing and operations are happening. All that is simplified with our smart top-ups by having automatic reconciliation, real-time notifications for critical actions. So, for example, like when the credit has finished or an activation or an expiration has taken place, both resellers and content providers would have full visibility across the entire changes of the top-up statuses throughout the consumer's history.
Awesome. I think that's yeah, it's an incredible piece of kit, this one, and it opens up right the market to the telcos that are in that kind of space, right? It's a great feature, which I'm very happy that we have that now, that we can cater for that type of market.
Yeah, I'm really excited by this because I can imagine it'll be accelerating time to market in prepaid dominant markets like LATAM, Asia, Africa, helping them reach consumers much faster and more efficiently. It must open up more revenue opportunities there.
Absolutely. So there we go. 8 new features, a whistle-stop tour of all the features that we have. I know we've got probably around 4 or 5 minutes now to do some Q&A, Marissa. So if you're happy for that, we'll step into the Q&A arena.
Let's do that.
Awesome. So we'll start with a question that we've had through, which is, what makes bundling or the channel-based offers more complicated than direct, and how does this release that we've just announced make it easier?
If you sort of imagine the journey the consumer goes through, if it's a direct to consumer, they'll go straight into the content provider site and either choose to upgrade or downgrade or cancel, and be as simple as that. But as we heard earlier on, consumers want to get rid of this fog or subscription fatigue, right? They want to handle all of the different subscriptions in one place. That means that they're willing to take on multi-party of subscription configurations. Now, within a multi-party configuration, it becomes complicated. Where does a consumer go to actually upgrade, a tier of one content provider in a multi-party configuration? Do they go onto the reseller site, like the telco site? Do they go onto that specific content provider site that they want to upgrade or cancel? Or do they go elsewhere? And in many cases, what we've seen is that traditional vendors out there do not support for this, which means that a consumer would then have to forego and cancel the subscription altogether to then go and upgrade or downgrade or cancel whatever specific action that they want to take outside the scene. And that leads to customer churn, right? We want to take that all away such that consumers can interact directly within a multi-party configuration with ease.
Thank you. Thank you for that response. I think a question here we've had also in the chat. So a couple of quick questions. What are the commercial agreements like behind these bundling partnerships? So is it a share of revenue? Is there any other kind of type of commercial models? And then a second kind of part to that was looking at the role of Gen I in building bundles today. So some interesting kind of points there. And then also beyond content like video, gaming, do you also see any bundle devices? So this is kind of more hardware with subscriptions, which I'm sure we do. We've seen some of that in the market with Xbox, for example. If so, which is the most popular content devices and services? So it's a bit of a multifaceted question there, Marissa.
Yeah, that's packed with a lot of questions in there. So let me try and break that down a little bit. So for the first one, in terms of the commercial agreements, we have a couple in place. What we recognize is that there are some customers who are coming in and they want us to lead in that commercial arrangement, right, between the reseller and the content provider, in which case they take on a DVM license. And then for those where they want to have more of a hands-off experience and they want us to actually handle the commercial relationship between the reseller and the content provider, that's when they can take up the eDisti approach. Okay. And then with the second question with regards to Gen AI, you just have to watch this space. I'm not giving away what's on lineup for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Creates intrigue, right? Another question coming through, or comment that was saying about it, is very customer centric, so great execution, which was a comment which I think is nice, nice kind of relaying the comment there. Speed and scale seems to be a key focus of this new update. You said it can take many months to launch a bundle with the DVM. What is the fastest launch time you've achieved?
Launched it within 2 to 4 weeks.
Wow. Now
Yeah, and during Christmas period as well.
Yeah, exactly. So there was the Continente launch, which was a brand new, net new connection, right? And that was
with Disney. Yeah, with Disney. So
and that was up and live in 8 weeks, and that was a brand new connection. But I think the 2 to 4 weeks is if it's a pre-existing connection to the DVM.
So one was with Telnet, yeah, with Disney as well. much faster.
Also, and then another LinkedIn user saying, good to hear the depth and thinking behind these exciting new capabilities, clearly informed by several years of work with industry leaders like Verizon, Amazon, Google, and Optus. So that's a nice comment to end up on the session. But thank you very much for everyone that's tuned in today. Marisa, thank you for being the superstar on stage today.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. And if there's any further questions from the audience that have watched, feel free to reach out to me directly or Marisa directly on LinkedIn, or you can reach us at sales@bango.com. We'll be happy to talk through any of these capabilities in more detail, set up any demos of the CX. We've got clickable demos that are available. And we're going to be at MWC next week. So anyone that is attending in the Fear in Barcelona will be there. We'll be at CS40, booth CS40 in Congress Square. We've got a lot of people there, so I'm sure you'll find someone if you walked up and introduce yourself. We look forward to seeing you again soon, and we'll be joined again next month with the launch of some brand new US subscriber data, which we're really excited to be launching on March 13th. So watch this space, plenty more to come. And thank you very much for tuning in. And we wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.